I'm here in the Holy Land, and this is Armageddon. Walking right now on the edges of a house. This would have been a place 6,000 years ago.
Under us is over 20 different civilizations.
This is why I believe every single Christian should watch this video.
Thank you to my patrons on Patreon for funding my content. I cannot make these videos without your support, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, patrons. You're the best.
Shalom, chaverim. Welcome to the top of Tel Meggido. I'm here in Israel in north, in a town called Megiddo, also known in the Christian Bible as Armageddon, which literally translates to Har Meggido, or the mountain of Megiddo. We've got a lot of facts to tell you guys about this place. This is a video dedicated to my Christian audience. I want to show you guys a place that I think is severely misunderstood here in the Holy Land. It's a place that a lot of you guys have probably heard of and don't have a lot of information about. And today I want to show you guys this place and make it real for you so you understand exactly what you're looking at. This is the beautiful view that we have here of northern Israel from the top of the Tel Meggido. A tel, what is a tel? You might be wondering. Not a mountain, but a tel is actually a group of civilizations that have been layered on top of each other. So the reason why this place is as high of a mound as it is, the reason why you have this insane view and you have all these ruins on top is because this place is built of layers upon layers, up to 26 layers is believed, of buildings and civilizations on top of each other. That's why it makes itself so high. So all of this, probably under these hills, are ancient ruins yet to be discovered as well. What I'm entering behind me right now are the old city gates of Megiddo. This is where our story begins. We're going to, in essence, discover a world full of history, archaeology, and a lot of legend and myth. This place is riddled with prophecy. So many civilizations took place right here, made their foothold right here. So as we enter Megiddo, let's begin the adventure. So to bring in some more fantastic information about Tel Meggido, I brought in another amazing YouTuber, Other Barak. You guys should check out his content down below. Barak, you had some interesting facts about this place.
Yeah, for sure. So where we're standing right now actually is a very historic place. On this exact ground lived many different groups of people, many different civilizations, such as the Assyrians, the Egyptians, the Mesopotamians, and even the Greeks. Actually, for the Egyptians, they found statues of the Sphinx here. So this place is extremely historic.
Yeah, it was so historic that we, even just walking in through this building earlier when we got here, through the little museum they have in the entrance, you can see an actual statue of a carved head of a pharaoh who probably either ruled here, had significance here in the entrance of the place that was uncovered from this place. So not only a sphinx, but a pharaoh's head was also uncovered here, just to show the significance of how important this place was to so many different civilizations, and also how they confused the name. Essentially, the Greeks mistranslated the name of this place, Har Meggido. By the way, Har in Hebrew is mountain. This is not a mountain, this is a tel. Under us is over 20 different civilizations that have lived here. And essentially, the Greeks Greekified the name from Har Meggido to Armageddon. This was a common thing that's been happening in this land for such a long time. Between the Romans, the Greeks, the Persians, the Babylonians, every time they came here, they took a small piece of our civilization. When I say our, I mean Judean DNA, because me and Barak are both indigenous people to this land, and they took part of our culture and they tried to Greekify it, make it Hellenistic, make it Romanicized, make it Persian, make it Babylonian. Every time that failed, because the creation of the state of Israel proves that point, but every single time there was an effort to change the core of this place into something else. And Tel Meggido, Armageddon, is actually a perfect example of that. In my opinion, this is my humble opinion, I think that the reason why there's such a fixation on this place as sort of the quote-unquote end of the world is because it's held such significance to so many people from the outside who don't truly understand this place. There's been a long history of Israelites and Hebrews and Jews inhabiting this place with all their history and religion and culture as well, which doesn't really get talked about too much. The fixation nowadays is on this being the end of the world. But I want to show you guys a different perspective, like where we're pulling up to right now. So we're walking here on the edge of would have been a house, maybe a house of prayer, a temple, who knows?
And imagine me standing here as a Sumerian prince looking over my domain. This is not fake. If you look around, you can see that the ground that we're standing on, this is exactly where they were. This isn't fiction. Don't imagine it. Realize it and see it.
This is the actual archaeological site of where people were dwelling. Whether you were an Egyptian prince or a Sumerian prince like Barak, this would have been a place people in Megiddo up to 6,000 years ago would have inhabited, whether it was a restroom, a house, a bank. It could have been whatever it could have been. And as every year went by, those 6,000 years of civilization went by, those things just kept evolving and evolving and evolving. And this is what you have left, the ruins of a beautiful civilization. Just a little note, by the way, about the beauty of Israel, something that I love to talk about in this country. Something, I don't know if you've experienced it as well, Barak, but this land, a lot of people think of it to be just a desert, but this land is so fertile. Everywhere you go in Israel, especially during the season, we're coming out of the winter season into the summer season of Israel. Look at this. These are the olives that you guys eat every single day. The olives that you get olive oil from, they grow all over Israel. The olive oil from this region is some of the most famous in the world. And besides that, you have fig trees, mango trees, you have fruits and vegetables from all over the world growing wild right here in the land of Israel.
Let me talk to my North Americans real quick. Let's say you're from New York and you want to go down to the desert. You don't just drive 2 hours, an hour and a half down to Beersheba, right? The desert area in Israel. You have to take a plane, maybe to Phoenix, maybe to the other side of the states. Or if you want more nature and you're in New York City, you can't just drive about 45 minutes north, as we can in Haifa or in northern Israel. You have to go to New Hampshire. You have to go to these nature places. Israel is the only place where within a very small radius you have all of these touch points on the Mediterranean coast in Tel Aviv, or you go more eastern where you have the ancient rock of Jerusalem, or you go north where we are, where there's nature, or you go south where there's desert. There's no other place like that.
It's absolutely amazing, the diversity of landscapes, the geography, the wildlife, the flora, the fauna, and then again, what the land gives us here. It's so pure. So I think the three of us can each share an olive here. Dua lechaim. These are so delicious when they're just like this. 3, 2, 1. I was joking, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Joke's on you.
I like.
Joke's on you.
I'm the only idiot. Right. So this is more of the casual life that existed here in Megiddo. This was... This was the horse stable. Subscribe to this boy's YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. He does horse sounds like this all the time on his channel.
I'm a dog.
Now, important to note, this place is no Great Pyramid Complex of Giza. It's no Angkor Wat. You're not going to get these amazing, impressive structures. What you do is you get the stories, you get the Bible verses, you get the quotes, and you get the mentions in Assyrian tablets or in the New Testament. Wherever you look, this place is mentioned from the civilizations that lived here. And check this out. This is very, very cool. This is something you can actually find in a lot of places across Israel. I didn't plan this, by the way. I'm just walking around here. Look, you got even more of it here. These are ancient clay pots from ancient civilizations. This right here, probably being the handle of one of those clay pots. Whether you're in Caesarea or here and in Megiddo, you're gonna find these collections of clay artifacts, bowls, jugs, proving to the life that people lived out here. And all over this place right here are the scattered ruins of different parts of the civilization. It's absolutely amazing that these things preserve for so long. But again, while not being an Egypt complex, an Angkor Wat, or whatever other famous archaeological site you can exist, what is amazing about this place is the quotes and the stories that you can hear. We're going to talk about some of that right now. This is Revelations 13 through something. I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come from the mouth of the dragon, from the mouth of the beast, and from the mouth of the false prophet. These were demonic spirits who performed signs. They went out to the kings of the whole world to assemble them for the battle on the great day of the God Almighty. Behold, I am coming like a thief. Blessed is the one who watches and keeps his clothes ready so that he may not go naked and the people see him exposed.
They then assembled the kings, and in the place that is named Armageddon in Hebrew, the 7th angel poured out his bowl into the air. A loud voice came out of the temple from the throne saying, "It is done."
Then there were lightning flashes, rumblings, and peals of thunder and great earthquake. It was such a violent earthquake that there has never been one like this since the human race began on earth. The great city right here where we are, was split into 3 parts, and the Gentile cities fell. But God remembered great Babylon, giving it the cup filled with wine and his fury and wrath. Every island fled, and mountains disappeared. Large hailstones like huge weights came down from the sky on people, and they blasphemed God for the plague of hail, because this plague was so severe. That is where we get the idea of Armageddon, the apocalypse, and the end of the world from the New Testament, Revelation 16 through 21. This is the supposed site of where all that is going to take place. I want to offer a different idea. I want to offer a concept for you guys to think about. Israel is the land of promise. It's the land of truth. It's the land of our Bible. Whether you're Christian or Jewish or Muslim or you're Baha'i, maybe you're Druze, lots of faith intersect right here. But I want to give a little bit of a perspective from Judaism. In Judaism, we have the idea of life and death. We have the idea of heaven and hell, but they don't exist in the same way the Christian and Muslim narrative do. In the Christian and narrative view, the ideas of hell and heaven, the Gehenom and the sky, the next life, they exist as these very structured concepts that are very strong, and a lot of people really believe that they are a real thing, rather than being an idea of something that we believe in a spiritual sense, which we do in Judaism. You see, in Judaism, we don't think of heaven and hell as clear-cut concepts that we are literally dying and transferring to heaven or transferring to hell, to the next life to suffer. We don't believe in some sort of eternal hellfire, and we don't really believe in a concept of a proper end of the world the way that Armageddon is laid out to be. I don't offer this as a way to disrespect your religion or your faith. I just offer this as a way to balance the idea of what you may be going through when you study scripture from this ancient land. Guys, Israel is a modern country. Israel is a place where tons of different peoples from all faiths and all religions live in. Megiddo, it's an archaeological site. This is a place where you pay a 20 shekel entrance fee or a 40 shekel entrance fee, and you come hang out for a day and see beautiful archaeological sites and history. The literal end of the world that's prophesied in the New Testament through these Revelations verses that I just read you, they may be God's attempts at trying to relay a message to us, a warning, an idea, rather than a literal event that might happen. Again, I respect you if you believe that this is the actual site of the end of the world. But what I want you to see is a place that's laying in ruin because of the fact that colonization and the structure of civilization after civilization trying to take over this place and holding it, until what you end up with is an archaeological site that you pay money to enter. When you look out and see what we have here, it's a beautiful modern state of Israel with roads and infrastructure. The reality is that the end of the world, in a literal sense, is probably not going to be taking place right here. The reality is that probably in the chaos of many men and many people trying to take control of a piece of land that was held so dearly and so important and so strategic for so many different civilizations, we probably built a hype train, something that at some point needed to have its judgment day, to have its end, but never actually came. And now we're in the modern world 6,000 years later. I'm not telling you to give up on hope or to change your belief in the Bible. I think there's a bit of an obsession with religions and cultures that have appropriated Judaism, which Christianity and Islam have. Sometimes in beautiful ways, sometimes in not so other beautiful ways. But no doubt, in mind, we all know this, Christianity and Islam both stem from Judaism originally. What I offer is the idea that if it didn't happen for the last 2,000, 3,000 years, and if the Jews truly don't hold it to some sort of apocalyptic message, you know, the ones who are caretaking the land today, who are here, who study the original source material, if they don't believe this is a site of some said Armageddon or apocalypse, I just offer the perspective to think that maybe than rather being an apocalyptic place or the site of an Armageddon, this might just be an archaeological site for us to come live and learn and understand that many people had an obsession with this place. They wanted to rule over it, and they failed. And then the place was laid to ruin. And now, it's just an archaeological site, and nothing else. I want to end on a note that talks about what we can learn from all of this. Again, this is coming from a Jewish perspective, not trying to offend my Christian viewers. It's just offering a different perspective, a different way to look at this understanding, a different way to look at the literal words you may be believing in as something that, or an event that you're waiting for that might actually happen. The Middle East is in turmoil, but it's always has been. That's the reality of the Middle East. When you see what feels like the World War III coming on, and you see Israel in the news and Gaza in the news, and you see bombs going off, and you think that, well, it's happening. All of it feels like it's coming together. Just understand that us Jews who live here, we're not scheming, we're not planning, we're not trying to do anything. This is an archaeological site by the Israeli National Park Authority. And that's it. We're not coming to pray here. There's no sacrifices happening here. And most likely, none are going to happen anytime soon. This is just offering a different look at something that you may be seeing in the news, or you may be studying at church, or you may be learning about, that makes you feel and think like, well, it's all happening. It's closing in on me. The end of the world is actually happening. I recommend you come out here. I recommend you come visit. I recommend you come see the steel bars stopping tourists from stepping onto an archaeological site, or the signs and the water fountains. It makes everything look and feel just a little bit less apocalyptic. That's the end of another video. I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you long time. Goodbye, Klats.
If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to monetarily support the channel. Some of the best ways to support me happen to be PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining our Patreon community. Links to them can be found in the pinned comments or the description of every one of my videos. Joining my Patreon community gives you access to exclusive content and the chance to talk to me on our Discord server. I also go live almost every day here on YouTube. And after my live streams, me and my patrons from Patreon head over to our Discord server to an exclusive after party hangout. Your support is the only way that I can keep creating the content that you love watching for me. Thank you.